Have you considered working with plants as a practice of anthropology? Well, get curious with sNAPAshots, conversations with professional, practicing, and applied anthropologists. Turning the camera onto myself, meet me, Reshama Damle. I'm a South Asian woman with dark hair, green eyes, and wearing a green shirt. I am a permaculture-focused urban farmer and practicing anthropologist. So let's get started. How did you get into anthropology, and what is your subfield of practice?
I initially got into anthropology through linguistics. I went for my master's in linguistics many years ago, and as part of my requirements, I had to take a couple courses that also connected with linguistic anthropology, and I just loved the discipline of being holistic. I loved that not only were we looking at a linguistic angle, we were looking at cultural, physical, of course, the archaeological aspects of that class. And then what's funny is that after I graduated from this program, I started meeting lots of anthropologists in places that I didn't really expect. So I became a professional dancer in the Middle Eastern dance community, and my teachers were dance anthropologists. And then, a couple of years later, I had the good fortune of working on an international nonprofit, and met folks with an anthropology background there. And then when I got into farming, that really shaped things for me. That's really when I got to know how different, agricultural systems and how, and this emic and Edic perspective of growing crops and the value of those crops in those particular regions, that really fed into my interest of sustainability and how we do things here in the US versus how they're done all over the world, how they're done in India, how they're done in the Middle East. It was all very much felt like we were talking about anthropology. And at the time, I didn't know that I was talking about the world and what I see in anthropological terms. But there was this awareness of lots of different social groups, and they were connected in some ways and not in other ways. And how were they going to interact with each other based on natural resources? So that really got me interested in design and in how we make places and how we value the land. So then I said, gosh, I gotta learn more. I gotta learn more about communities in this way, people in this way, humans in this way. And I sought out an anthropology program. So that's really what got me in. But having graduated from this training, I can't help but see anthropology everywhere. I mean, it's in the earth. It's in how I plant seeds. It's in how I, grow crops and where I put them and why I put them there. And there's just so much backstory when it comes to something as simple as plants.
What anthropological skills do you use in your field?
The anthropological skills I use in my field are definitely observation. Being a permaculture designer and vine gardener, it really is all about getting out there and looking at what's growing, what's in bloom, what has changed overnight, what's changed in the last month or in the last week, How has the environment affected my crop? And, what other kind of damage in terms of pests or disease or wild animals have crept through my space? So the number one thing I use as an anthropologist is that ability of trained observation. Having done so much ethnography and really not knowing what cues or what pieces of information are going to be most relevant, but just being able to observe and look at everything. Not knowing which one carries more weight, but looking at everything and taking note, and maybe taking note of things that kind of seem unimportant. I think that's what we do as anthropologists. We take in a lot. We see more than the average person. It's something that we've been trained to do, to go out there and look. Oftentimes it's like not looking for anything in particular, but just look and see, follow your curiosity, The other thing that helps me is trying to just figure out, how are things done here? That really helps me take a step back and look at, what is the mindset of cultivating this particular crop or plant in this area, in this environment, in this part of the world, versus another part of the world, or maybe another community, or just how do they do it in Southern California versus how do they do it in Washington, in the middle of Iowa. These are the things that help me stay connected to farming practices and just what the value system is in terms of what's available and what kind of wisdom has been passed down. These are the things that matter to me as someone who aims to grow crops for high yield in small spaces, in small square footage. And then just the, belief system of nature. Nature has its own way, and my job is to follow that way. It's to follow the way of nature and work with it rather than work against it. Give it what it needs rather than superimposing my ideas about what it should need or what my client, thinks that it should need. It's really about, listening to that larger force. So participating in this, relationship between human and plant in this way, I think is kind of an extraordinary way I get to practice anthropology.
What advice would you like to pass on to future anthropologists seeking roles in professional fields?
So the advice I would give future anthropologists is to stay open. You just never know how your training as an anthropologist is going to help you in your career. Nature has thrown me lots of curveballs, and I can't complain to nature. I can just say, okay, the damage is done, and continue and pick up the pieces and put them back together as best as you can and ask for help. Be open to shifting gears, trying a new kind of industry, a new kind of job, a job you've never even thought about before, because I guarantee you, anthropology is going to make its way. You have the training, you have the observational skills, you have the ethnographic skills, and you have the curiosity. So be open, stay curious.
Thank you for letting me share my experience as a permaculture farmer and practicing anthropologist. For more Snapashots, find us here, practicinganthropology.org, Meta, LinkedIn, and Twitter.
Take two. Boop. Okay. Ready. I'm ready.